Welcome to Xbox On. Today we are looking at all the amazing new games, updates and hardware drops coming your way in May, starting with something very delicious. We rounded out last month with the launch of the shockingly gorgeous Electric Volt controller, and May kicks off with another addition to the Xbox Gamepad Rainbow, the Daystrike Camo Edition, coming out on May the 4th. It's hard to say where bright red camo would be especially useful, unless you're fighting on the surface of Mars perhaps, but it sure does look great wrapped around the latest Xbox Wireless controller. And beyond its stylish looks, the Daystrike Camo also boasts all of those neat touches we've come to expect. A hybrid D-pad, textured grips on the back and the bumpers, and that ever so useful share button, which makes it easier than ever to immortalize your finest gaming moments. Basically, what we're saying is, hot new colors, same great controller.
Usually when a game provides you with a beautifully designed open world environment presented in eye-watering 4K and complete with incredibly realistic ray-traced lighting effects, we can't wait to explore every inch of it. But Resident Evil's village is so teeth-chatteringly creepy that actually we might just stay right here, thank you very much. Players who do pluck up the nerve on May 7th will find that it's not as deserted as it first seemed, with lichens, monsters, and a very tall vampire lady all waiting to give you the grand tour. And then there is the small matter of what the Umbrella Corporation has been up to since the last game.
Hood, Outlaws and Legends, releasing on May the 10th, is a multiplayer game which puts the player in charge of Robin Hood and his merry band as they plot a daring heist, using each character's unique abilities to outfox the guards and make off with the goods. The really clever part is that each game also features a competing team working to rob the same vault, adding a whole new layer of tactical complexity and unpredictability, as you never know what the other side are up to while you're skulking in the shadows.
The Legendary Edition of Mass Effect is set to be hands down the most complete version of its epic 3-part story on offer, featuring the full trilogy of original games plus over 40 pieces of DLC. Its galaxy has never felt wider or fuller than it does now. And it certainly never looked as good too, thanks to the remaster's sleek 4K Ultra HD visuals, which turn every rifle blast and psionic pulse into their own little work of art. So whether you're taking Commander Shepard on their very first voyage or revisiting the saga to see how differently it can play out, May 14th brings you the definitive Mass Effect experience.
Also arriving on the 14th, one of the first things you'll learn in the new survival game Subnautica Below Zero is that Planet 4546b really isn't an easy place to survive on. It's super cold, so you'll have to keep an eye on your body temperature as well as your thirst and hunger levels to make sure its hostile environment doesn't claim you. And if this doesn't, the huge variety of snarling, acid-spitting and otherwise unfriendly critters that call this planet home, well, they just might. But if you can avoid becoming someone else's lunch, Subnautica presents a diverse and mysterious new world for you to explore, with tons to discover both on ground and underwater.
Aerial Knights aims to put a modern spin on the Endless Runner as you take Wally on a madcap race across the city in a quest to expose its sinister underbelly. If you aren't familiar with the genre, it's pretty self-explanatory. This is a side-scrolling game where you have to constantly remain in motion, no matter what obstacles are in the way. Fortunately, the game has two great motivating factors to keep you on the go. First is the fact that you are constantly being chased by enemies who seem pretty upset about your overall mission. The second is a head-bopping soundtrack that's sure to keep you feeling energized no matter how long the run lasts. Grab this one from the 19th of May.
Life outside of the gym class tends to present disappointingly few opportunities to hurl balls at your friends, so it's a very good thing that Knockout City is arriving on May 21st, straight into EA Play and therefore Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, isn't it? This toonish take on the game of bombardment has players teaming up to eliminate their opposition with a well-aimed throw. They can also take advantage of various power-ups, soaring through the air with the help of the moon ball, or adding an explosive edge to their game with the appropriately titled Bomb Ball. In a pinch, one player can even curl themselves into a tiny ball for their teammates to throw. Just mind one of the opposition doesn't get there first, or you'll quickly find yourself getting yeeted straight out of the game.
In Rust, you wake up more or less naked with the strong suspicion that everyone around you is trying to kill you, which can make for quite a bracing experience for new players, but one that's hugely rewarding for those who get to work gathering supplies, crafting gear, and generally doing everything in their power so that when another member of this multiplayer-only survival game does come their way, they've got a fighting chance of making it out alive. And with Rust finally coming to Xbox consoles on May 21st, there are sure to be a lot of new players learning to survive in its brutal environment, so you won't be the only one running around in a total panic.
Thanks to the success of Sea of Thieves, pirates are as popular now as they've been since Jack Sparrow first swaggered into town, so it feels like King of Seas has chosen just the right time to drop its anchors. This action RPG has you battling your way through a procedurally generated pirate world on a quest for vengeance, treasure, and adventure. Ugh, classic. With an intricate nautical combat system to master and all kinds of mysteries to uncover, King of Seas is the perfect prescription for players who've caught the pirate bug. Might want to check it with a doctor or the same though, could just be scurvy.
As well as that laundry list of exciting new titles, May will also be bringing in some cool new content for a game we're already in love with. The world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla is so broad, deep, and overflowing with places just begging to be pillaged that it's almost impossible to run out of things to do in the base game alone. But that hasn't stopped Ubisoft from scheduling a steady stream of new content to make sure you always have somewhere new to set sail for. The Wrath of the Druids will arrive on May 13th, taking us over to Ireland to take on a profoundly creepy druidic cult called the Children of Danu. Plus there's smuggling to be done and royalty to be won over, so you'll definitely have your hands full with this content update. And with the updates all out of the way, how about some freebies? Or more specifically, how about May's Games with Gold, Charley?
Hey, do you love fancy board games but wish you could play them without the hassle of actually setting up a board? Do you also wish that all the characters could be played by animals? Well then you're in luck, incredibly specific Xbox player, because Armello is a digital board game which takes place in a magical realm filled with noble warrior bears and sly blade-wielding squirrels.
While the debate over who the best Batman is might rage on forever, there's no question that this guy has the best time being Batman, bringing the LEGO world's bright colours and big smiles to the dark, brooding streets of Gotham. LEGO Batman is the chili and chocolate of the gaming world.
As president of your very own tropical paradise, you'll have to decide whether to build it into an idyllic island getaway or a ruthless military dictatorship. Either way, you'll need to keep an eye on the economy, make sure nobody overthrows you, and watch out for hurricanes. It truly is tough at the top.
You played plenty of games where you go charging into dungeons, slicing up demons, smashing up traps, and stealing everything in sight, but did you ever spare a thought for the poor soul whose job it is to set that all up? Well, now that poor soul is you in this dungeon building RTS, where keeping the good guys out is the name of the game.
So there we have it, that is May in a nutshell. With angry druids and vampire ladies for all, this month is looking like another great month for Xbox. Let us know in the comments which games you have circled on your calendar, and feel free to leave a like before you go. Go on! Bye bye!